All right, welcome guys, welcome. Hello. All right, is everything going fine here? Let's see, audio's okay. Okay, I think we're good, guys. Hello, welcome. All right, what a day so far, what a day. So this is a quick midday stream. I'll probably be streaming for maybe until like 11:30ish, maybe until like 11:45, maybe around there. So about an hour. But yeah, things are looking up so far. If you take a look at SPY, we've been holding pretty well here. Very nice retracement. I think this is about, let's see, we almost filled in the gap down here, this gap down area. We are only a couple cents off, I believe. Yeah, look at that. So the low of this candlestick was 630.77, and then the high of this candlestick today was a 630.52. Okay, so that's very close there for that gap fill. But overall, pretty good price action. However, I do have to let you guys know that there's very low volume. All right, so to me this just seems like this is probably just a simple short covering bounce that is occurring here, and not a lot of long-term buyers have yet to step in right now, since people are still a little bit worried about the move that we saw last Friday and obviously last Thursday's candlestick, since this was a very nice bearish engulfing candlestick, as I've mentioned before. And obviously this increasing amount of selling volume that we saw for all of last week, actually. So this is pretty interesting to see for today, since we are right back above the daily 21 SMA. However, we have yet to retest the daily 10 SMA, which I think we will do tomorrow. As long as we maintain these highs at the close, into the close, actually, we should be seeing a retest of at least 632, and obviously coincide with this daily 10 SMA, which is now starting to curl up a little bit higher, which is interesting to see after today's price action. So I really wonder how we will close today. But again, this volume is dismal. All right, I am not liking this volume on this bounce. I would love to see the volume at least being a little bit, close to being at the same, I guess, well, just from an observational perspective, at the same height of these volume candlesticks from last week, right? We're not even close to last Monday's volume, which was again a very tight range day, right? I've seen here. So to me, this is a little bit suspicious, a little sus for me, because I would rather higher volume on this bounce, but we're not seeing that just yet. So I would say stay cautious here, very much cautious. You can be bullishly cautious if you want on this bounce. That's completely fine, because again, I'm still expecting a move to 632 or around 632.50, because that's when we will be retesting this daily 10 SMA, this red line here. So let me actually put down the volume as well. There it is. Okay, so make sure you guys remember that. All right, I've also stated in the Discord last Friday, right, that I'm going to be expecting a small bounce to start out next week, and we should see a continuation to the downside as we head into this month, right, and into September. So please remember that. All right, that's just my first analysis for this month. It could change a little bit. There might be a little nuance depending on how the markets move. That is my initial analysis and thesis so far as to how the markets can move for the month of August, and so far it's playing out. We're getting that nice bounce to start out the official first full trading week of August, and I'm expecting to see a continued move down as we reject off of major supply levels and major SMAs like my daily 21 and daily 10 SMAs. But for now, we have recovered back over the daily 21 SMA, which is great to see. Okay, and obviously tomorrow I'm going to be expecting a retest of the daily 10 SMA as well, so make sure you guys remember that. Okay, hey, thank you guys for the likes. Make sure you guys smash that like button down below if you guys are coming in now. I assume that we're going to be seeing a lot more people coming into the stream here later on into the day of the stream, so if you're here early, awesome. All right, so with that being said, I want to take a look at APLD as well, since that is kind of the main topic for this stream. So APLD, amazing earnings, right? Amazing earnings, amazing earnings reaction, and even last Friday, amazing relative strength, which is the reason why I added this in the report, in the MM list, the mentions list. And for all the people who are watching the stream or maybe the replay, don't know what I'm talking about when I'm referring to the MM list, it is a section in the overall CFO Swing Watch report. All right, that is a weekly report that is sent to you on a weekly basis, along with a technical analysis video, or like these streams. Okay, and who knows? Maybe these streams might be a regular thing in the future. But so far, it seems like people are enjoying it. So I may just stick around to doing these streams on Monday streams rather than doing the technical analysis videos on Sunday night. Okay, so you know, if you guys are curious about the report, if you guys want to join, make sure you guys check out the description box down below where I have the link to the CFO Swing Watch report, the subscription link. So please go ahead and take a look at that link down below. Okay. And if you guys have any questions on the subscription link, please let me know. All right. And apologies, my mouth is a little bit dry, so I'm kind of butchering that word subscription. Let me add some delicious watermelon here. Okay, so APLD, massive relative strength last Friday. I mean, obviously, quick dip into the earnings gap up, but it barely retraced any of the earnings gap up move, right? Maybe around like 25%, maybe 50%, who knows, right? I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna try to show you. I'm just from a visual perspective, right? Just from an observational perspective with my naked two eyes. Okay, this is obviously really good relative strength, barely filled in the gap, right? I would say maybe 50% here, okay? And then it pivoted away. And then today, we made higher highs compared to the previous high of the day at 13.07. And it's over my $13 resistance level. And it's now officially over my long-term entry point here, over 13.10. Obviously, I had a previous entry point over $10 as well, if you guys remember that. So APLD is looking very strong. I set this in the report, right? It's looking extremely tight on the monthly time frame, as we now have 2 consecutive back-to-back inside monthly candlesticks. We should be seeing a very nice squeeze higher for the rest of this year if this monthly flag can break out. And here it is, right? So this is what I see on the monthly. Okay, so APLD, obviously really good earnings reactions, really good earnings. I would say not really good earnings. It's just, I mean, this is good, right? We had double beat. Okay, and obviously the company seems to be doing better. Obviously they had that partnership, that collaboration, whatever you want to call it, with CoreWeave, and they still have that stringent agreement for CoreWeave. I talked about it multiple times in my previous APLD videos. I have 2 recent APLD analysis videos, so make sure you guys take a look at that. Especially the first one, the most recent one. Oh, not the most recent one, but the first one that's, I believe, from a month ago, I think that's, yeah, APLD. I think that's the one that has almost 2,000 views now. Apparently people really like this ticker and what I've said on this ticker. So APLD, they still have that agreement going on with CoreWeave, and then that stringent agreement that they need to follow through with by the end of this year. So we shall see, right? So APLD obviously could ride on the fact that, the possibility that they will completely fill out the agreement with CoreWeave, and obviously the other partnerships that could potentially occur if they are successful with providing that power for CoreWeave. So we will see. Okay, and I think APLD is doing completely fine for now. I haven't really looked at the details as to where they're at with CoreWeave. So actually, let me just look it up now. Yeah, obviously we had that 15-year lease agreement, right? We talked about this multiple times as well. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So APLD, they have a new multi-billion-dollar contract, so they're already getting some more traction here. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so there are some news over the weekend that they're expanding the collaboration with CoreWeave, and that will hike the two firms' contract to as much as $11 billion. Wow. They're adding another 150 megawatts of critical IT load capacity from applieddigital's data center on top of the 250 megawatts signed earlier. So that brings the total capacity to 400 megawatts. Okay. Okay, seems like they're maintaining that goal too, to provide 150 megawatts to CoreWeave by the end of 100 megawatts. Excuse me, 100 megawatts. I had that wrong. 100 megawatts to CoreWeave by the fourth quarter of this year. So again, by the end of this year, which will be closely following along. Followed by a 150 megawatt capacity in the middle of next year. So somewhere around quarter 2 or quarter 3 of next year, or in between, right? Okay. Wow, and then the last 150 to be around 2027. Okay, that's not bad. Wow. So it seems like CoreWeave has some. They have a lot more confidence now in APLD on their potential follow through for providing this amount of power. So. Yeah, so it seems like APLD is really looking to follow through on that and providing that that power low capacity to CoreWeave, and that should provide some other companies to try to look at APLD more as a fundamental company in this AI revolution, right? As a part of this AI revolution, the part where APLD provides power, right, megawatts. Or generally speaking, the IT load here, as it says, right? IT load capacity. So, and it seems like APLD also narrowed its net loss too. That's pretty good. So they lowered their loss, and their revenue obviously a beat here, right? So then their overall revenues have increased as well. And it says here they increased their total revenues by 41% year over year. Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, I would say. As an early company here that is obviously, just trying to stay above this double-digit share price, obviously, and obviously a really nice, but I would say it's a ballooned valuation here, market cap. But hey, with this future growth potential, obviously, this is what everyone is betting on. Obviously. APLD could be a pretty good ticket to look out for the longer term. So, it's interesting to see as well on APLD, as it says here on my stream, right? The reason why I said 25 is that APLD could be reaching this 25 target by 2027. And obviously 2027 is a critical time frame for APLD based on whether or not they can follow through with what is it? I think it's 250 megawatts of power, right? Yeah. So if they're able to completely provide 250 megawatts of IT load capacity to CoreWeave, and obviously the last half that's needed, or let's see. No, they're providing 400, not 500, right? So So as long as they can follow through with that 150 megawatts by 2027, then this company is looking really good to really just head towards that $25 target. Because if you take a look at the options on APLD, okay, so obviously 25 is a long ways away. All right, that's a huge percentage increase. Okay, that's over 80%. Okay, for the next 2 years. But the reason why I'm saying this is that if you take a look at the call accumulation on the January 15th, 2027 expiration date, okay, so let me show you guys here. Okay, I saw this last night. Okay, look at this, 13,000 contracts, right? That's a pretty good amount. And there's a huge amount of call skew on just the 2027 strike alone, expiration date alone, excuse me. So to me, this is looking like certainly a possibility. I'm not saying that they're gonna follow through, but just based on how CoreWeave decided to expand their collaboration here, kind of is telling that, you know, maybe APLD really has what it takes to follow through with just this one contract alone, with just one company, and this could provide them a new avenue, a new vertical to continue to provide this IT load capacity for other companies out there, right? And they can continue to have these long-term lease agreements, right? Or long-term agreements, excuse me, with APLD here. So, and it looks like APLD is making new high of the days here as well too. Awesome, awesome. So continued strength and continued possibility for an earnings drift on APLD here. And so who knows, maybe you could reach 25 before 2027, and possibly we can maintain the 20s into 2027 as well. So if you do head up into the 20s before 2027, that'll be great, especially if APLD is able to provide a total of 250 megawatts of IT load capacity to CoreWeave by the middle of 2026. Okay, so that's interesting to look at. Okay. Yeah, but APLD has a lot of room to the upside if it's able to provide that amount of power. I mean, obviously APLD had a massive run up in 2021. Okay, well, everything was ballooning. So I mean, that's something that we shouldn't really be surprised about. And I think they had a stock split. Huh. Let's see what the details are for that stock split. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so obviously from this, this was a dilution of shares for long-term shareholders. It's a 1-for-6 reverse stock split, or RSS, as you guys should all know. Okay. Hence, obviously, if you're, sorry guys, I was reading everything here, but obviously this 1-6 means 1-for-6 RSS. Okay. So if it was the other way around, it would have just been a stock split. Okay, 1/6. Excuse me, 1-for-6. Okay, but it's 1-for-6 or 6-for-1. My apologies, guys. Jesus. Okay, so yeah, they did a reverse split, 1-for-6. Interesting. Okay, so there is some dilution there, so that could be a long-term problem. But hey, you know what? I mean, the growth prospects are there, right? I mean, this expanded collaboration with CoreWeave is a pretty big deal for this company that's trying to become a foundational company amongst all the data centers out there, or all the other micro, small cap companies that are trying to really wedge themselves in between the ever so increasingly competitive AI data center landscape and just the overall AI revolution. So I think APLD is definitely making a name for themselves with these collaborations, or at the very least this expanded single collaboration with CoreWeave, which is again a 15-year long agreement, and obviously that alone is a pretty big deal. Okay, and if it doesn't sound like a big deal to you, well, it should be. Okay. All right. So yeah, those 25 strike call contracts for the January, what was it, January 17th, January 15th, excuse me, January 15th, 2027 expiration date looks pretty enticing. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I'm gonna be watching that contract. And wow, Reddit's back over 200 as well. Wowee. A true powerhouse here for Reddit. Obviously an earnings drift name here. Look at the momentum here on the MACD. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Wow, wow, wow. We can probably reach 210 pretty soon. My Google position is looking good. I opened up Google position earlier in the day. Up 10% so far. I think it's gonna reach at least 197 here. Very simple swing trade idea that I executed earlier. And obviously we have 5 in as well. I mentioned this in the report as well too. Potential M&A ticker after this massive move down on earnings. Man, this has every reason to pop on any type of M&A rumor. I mean, this had previous rumors as well. So obviously there's a reason why I'm looking at this one. I just forgot which company I was trying to take a look at this one, but. Let's take a look at some cybersecurity stocks. Crowd. This should be bounced today as well. If overall market, yeah, look at that. Oh, been making a nice falling wedge here. Not bad, not bad. So leaders today have overall recovered pretty well. Obviously, tickers like Amazon are still struggling due to that pretty horrible earnings call. Like conference call itself from CEO Andy Jassy. He wasn't too optimistic about the potential future on Amazon, the overall guidance, and I believe profits, if I remember. I don't really remember the details on that, since I didn't really listen into the call, but yeah, overall, just the reaction is not good. That's kind of the bottom line here for Amazon. And Apple, well, you guys know Apple. Apple is still holding that very tight inside day. Obviously, it completely rejected off of 208. And damn, I should have gotten those puts. Okay, so I was literally telling you guys on the Discord as well earlier today that this is really looking very nice with a nice tight range, right? It's holding the range between 208 to 204 with a perfect retest on these two levels. And so far, what a nice rejection. I really should have grabbed those puts at 208, but again, it's now sitting slightly below 204, and I'm really close to getting some puts here, but I have to wait and see how it closes. All right, in the last minute or so, all right, to grab these puts on Apple. So we shall see. Okay, but yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, Joel? Doing good. So if you guys are just joining in now, you guys kind of missed my little summary on APLD and as to why I'm thinking APLD could be going to 25 in 2027. It could be possibly going up to $25 per share, which is about like almost 85% return based on the current share price right now. But again, you can watch the replay on that. But yeah, damn, Apple, man. I really should have just executed on that put there on that rejection of 2A. I had a small sinking feeling, literally a sinking feeling on Apple here, as it has now sunk after rejecting off of that 208 cleanly, and is now right below 204. But again, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself here and try to grab some puts. I'm gonna wait until that last minute until close to see if it does decide to stay below 204 here. And so far, sellers are trying to maintain this this price below 204. Okay, but nice 4-point range of 204 to 208 today. Very tight inside day candlestick, and as you guys know, I love inside day candlesticks because that just literally tells you that a continuation of the trend will occur, right? And what is that trend right now? What is the underlying trend? A downtrend. Okay, after a massive bearish engulfing candlestick and a massive ugly reaction to earnings after a nice gap up. Okay, completely retraced the earnings gap up and continue to move lower. Okay, so obviously that's not a good sign. And so today, the inside day is obviously a very good day for consolidation. On top of that, we had a nice nasty rejection today at 208. So still a lot of sellers, still a lot of supply at this 208 level, and we've obviously used it as a new level of resistance when it was previously a very good level of support. Unfortunately, right? So unfortunately, this 208 level is now a very, very, very reliable level of resistance. And who knows, 204 might just become the next major level of resistance, since we are now below both of my critical level of support at 204 and this daily 50 SMA. And my daily 10 and daily 21 SMAs continue to curl down, which automatically tells me that the short-term trend is still the downside. Okay, so, you know, things are not looking up for Apple, and that's the reason why I have a short on the $200. If we lose the psychological level, then we're rapidly going to head to now 197, 195, and eventually we could get very close to 186 here, which is a critical level here back in April, when we hit those April lows. Okay, so Apple may just have to do that before we can actually start a recovery back to the upside for the mid to long-term trend. So from a short to mid-term perspective, we might just have to just continue to move lower, unfortunately, for all the Apple-loving people out there. But again, the overall sentiment on Apple, just as a company alone, is not looking too good, just based on the social media searches that I've done on Apple. Yes. I am very trying to stay disciplined here. Well, obviously I completely missed out. I really was thinking about the 208 rejection here, but oh well. These uvas are great. Uvas, grapes. You guys didn't know what I said there in Spanish. Oh, guys, while I'm on here, let me just take a quick look at APLD again. Yeah, look at that. Very, very nice. Great relative strength on the RSI. On all the higher time frames. Very, very good looking here. What a handsome looking ticker, right? Okay, so we also have TGEN from the list from last night's report. Alright, so this one made a new all-time high again. So this is a small cap, or I think it's a micro cap. Let me see. Let's look at the market cap here. Yeah, this is a small cap, or a micro cap here. Wow, the market cap is at 264 million. Okay, so this one is, again, like I said here last night, it's also a company that is trying to be a part of the overall AI revolution that's currently underway. Okay, it's trying to become a foundational company. There are many other companies like this one, TGEN, ticker symbol TGEN out there, but this is a pretty strong one here. It reminds me of APLD as well, but this company is specifically focusing on data center cooling, right? Cooling and chilling technologies, along with clean and efficient heat and power systems for data centers, right? So this is kind of this is a smaller company trying to power and chill the data centers, while APLD, on the other hand, is trying to provide and build these data centers. Do you see how all this kind of trickles down, right? So there's going to be probably another company that's working for, I don't know, the electrical systems for these cooling technologies for TGEN. Who knows, right? So you can go down the rabbit hole there of how this AI revolution is currently changing the entire industry of data centers, of semiconductors, of cooling and chilling technologies, for example. As you guys should know what I mean, right? So basically, TGEN has been gaining some, it's been gaining some momentum, and I'm kind of interested in this. I've been seeing some chatter here on the Twitter space, on the X space, which is kind of enticing me here. And so, as long as TGEN is able to, continue this uptrend, I think we have a nice winner on our hands. But this is a very good relative strength so far. I mean, obviously, nice rejection from all-time highs, which is not uncommon, right? This is very common to see, especially if the markets are overall in a downtrend. Because again, the markets are still in a downtrend. I kid you not, right? Obviously, we had a very nice bounce, very low volume bounce at that. And I also mentioned that earlier in the stream, so make sure you guys watch the replay on what my thoughts are on that. But again, this is still a downtrend, right? We made a lower low, all right? And there's still a possibility that we can make a lower high tomorrow once we retest around 632 to 633.50, or which will coincide simultaneously coincide with the daily 10 SMA here. Okay, so depending on how we retest it and reject off of the daily 10 SMA will determine whether or not we also have a lower high, because obviously we've already made a lower low last Friday. Well, starting from last Thursday, but we did make a lower low on Friday. Okay. All right, and now we're still staying very close below the daily 10, and obviously we've broken above the daily 21 SMA, but earlier this morning we were below it. So it's getting very interesting on this potential pullback as we head into a usually seasonal weak months of August and September. Okay, so quarter 3 tends to be a little bit weak after some very, very nice returns on quarter 1 and quarter 2, and obviously the very first presidential year, the presidential cycle, if you guys didn't know what that is. Okay, the presidential cycle on the first year, we tend to see some weakness on the third quarter here, on the last half of third quarter is what I should say. So this is interesting. Okay, so yeah, so TGEN, very interesting ticker. Okay, and on top of this, I want to give you guys another ticker that I just came across, DPRO, Dragonfly. So this is another ticker that is currently focusing on drone technology. And guess what? PDYN, which was a huge winner for me since I got in at the penny stock prices, literally at $1 per share. Okay, and obviously this is looking extremely good so far. PDYN, right? Amazing. All right, this reached double digits. This is a huge winner for me last year. Okay, so I got in all the way back here, somewhere around here. Okay, so kudos to me is what I should say. Okay, but I held it and obviously massive run up as people became a bit more aware, and a bit more bullish on drone technology, whether it be for defensive usages or just for commercial usages. But PDYN still a very good ticker to look out for if you guys are looking for any type of a drone play. But DPRO got some attention here because of some options activity that caught my eye. Okay, so there is some good buying on the 5 strike call contracts for DPRO, and this one is looking very momentum filled. That didn't make sense, but grammatically makes sense. But this has a lot of momentum, a lot of momo here building up as it consolidates in between the daily 10 and the daily 21 SMA here. And today, a nice looking candlestick here. Nice bullish engulfing candlestick. Not really a perfectly looking, textbook looking bullish engulfing candlestick, but the lows and the highs completely engulf the previous lows and the highs. So therefore, it is a bullish engulfing candlestick. So DPRO, cheap name. The options contracts as well are very cheap. The premiums itself are very cheap, which I like. So IV has not yet to step in onto these contracts, but the 5 strike call contracts on the October 17th expiration and for next year's expiration, the January 16th, 2026 expiration has caught my eye. Both of them have some good volume and good OI, specifically the January 16th, 2026. There's a huge buy of 5,000 contracts on top of the already large open interest of 3,787 contracts. So I'm really wondering how much of this 5,000 buy order will be added onto the OI tomorrow. So I will be tracking that. But again, this Dragonfly, this drone AI theme is starting to really catch on again. PDYN, I was really early on this one last year. So this one was a huge winner. Okay, so I've been rewarded well off the profits on this one. So I'm not gonna touch it again, but I've already sold this back here. Okay, so if anyone is still holding this one, just with equity, I mean, awesome, right? I mean, this one has been holding very well. Obviously, there's some value in this. It's been holding this range, at least staying above $5. Because again, my criteria is that if it loses $5, then that company has a risk of potentially, well, an immediate risk of potentially turning into a penny stock company, right? And especially if it drops below $3, then it's officially, from my own personal criteria, okay, it is a penny stock, right? So again, this one has been upholding its $5, I guess, line in the sand, specifically this 5.55 level. So there is some value here on this company, and I truly believe that it will continue to have some sort of value. I can't wait to see what its earnings are. Okay, last time it had a double beat, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay, so again, PDIN, very good, solid name. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back for always being able to, well, I was able to get on this early on before anyone else. But hey, this one is also looking pretty interesting. This one already has some momentum, some traction. I looked it up on Twitter, and it seems like people are very aware of this name. But Dragonfly, again, pretty cool name. And again, people tend to buy these very cheap names just based on how the name sounds sometimes. So, you know, it is what it is, right? Well, that SPY is not able to hold 630 here, but hey, maybe we're just gonna close like this, and that'll give us some room to at least retest the daily 10 SMA tomorrow. I really want to see that. Well, let's see how my Google is doing. This Google is still looking very strong. There's some very good solid options activity coming in as well. Yeah, look at that, still sitting at highs. And Apple, oof, yeah, oh, it's making new low today, damn. All right, I'm still gonna wait though. I gotta be patient here. Obviously, I'm gonna get some FOMO here for not getting that put contract that I want to open below this rejection at 208. I was really thinking about it earlier, but I just held off, man. I just held off. But yes, Joel, like you said, trying to stay disciplined as always. Everyone has discipline problems, no matter how long you've been in the markets. Okay, you can ask that to anyone. Okay, I've been in the markets for 8 years now officially, and people still have discipline problems. And if people tell you they don't, then they're obviously lying to you. I mean, come on now. We all have discipline problems on any type of market condition. Okay, and that's the truth, right? I'm being straight up with you guys. You just get better at noticing it and maintaining better discipline. That's it. Okay, you just never erase that human emotion of trying to stay not disciplined. Okay, because that's just not physically, emotionally, psychologically possible. especially when it involves your own money, right? So a little bit of a trading psychology lesson there. Okay, no one is immune to not being 100% or to being 100% disciplined. Okay, or to not being, excuse me. No one is immune to not being 100% disciplined. All right, everyone will be somewhat not disciplined, even if they've had a lot of experience in the markets. Okay, and if they tell you that, then they're lying to you. They're obviously lying to you. Okay, we're all humans at the end of the day with human emotions. That involves money. Okay, the currency of our world. Okay, we don't have seashells anymore for or rocks for currency anymore, right? Or commodities to trade like corn or wheat or rice. Okay, we have this thing called money, which we become very emotional about. Wow, Apple's making a new low today as well. While SPY is still maintaining highs. Again, this divergence continues to surprise me, and again, no one's really talking about this, which is really amazing to me. It seems like the Apple hate has gone where no one really wants to mention this overall divergence that has occurred with Apple and the markets. It was very interesting to see. All right, so pretty an overall chill day, low volume. I'm still not liking how the volume is still lower than last Monday's volume. Again, last Monday, such a tight day. I mean, we ended the day at negative 0.03%, and we moved to negative 0.16 points. Right, it's a slight, small down day, very tight range, but still, we had a lot more volume, and we're almost nearing the end of the day, and we still have lower volume compared to last Monday, which is kind of crazy. Right, I think people are not looking at this volume today for some reason because, again, it still makes sense because they're focusing on the overall market breadth, which makes sense. Again, the market breadth really matters here as we potentially start a new downtrend, but the volume is worrying. All right, it is kind of worrying to me because this may just be a very simple bull trap that, a very simple bull trap that people get caught up in, and they just could have avoided it if they just had taken a quick look at the volume. Okay, Joey said, like you told me once, you don't do it as often when you're experienced. Yeah, you just catch it very quickly. You're like, oh, look at that. I'm not, sticking to my ways again. I might fall back into my old habits, and you just really have a good knack of looking out for those old habits coming back, and you quickly correct yourself. That's all you do, right? That's how you become a better trader, literally, right? You just notice those mistakes a lot quicker before you even make them. But again, the thought is still there, right? That the emotions are still there. It's not like they just disappear when you become more experienced. That's not true at all. Okay, and again, no one can trade like a robot. No one can have no emotions while trading. No one can have 100% discipline. That's not possible. All right. But again, if anyone tells you that, anyone who is in the market for a long time or even for a short period of time, and they tell you, "Oh, I've mastered, feeling no emotions," or I have mastered becoming 100% disciplined," they are straight up lying to you. That's such BS, okay? All right. Sure, you might say being able to catch those mistakes is a form of discipline. Yeah, I could agree to that, but yeah, you can't just tell yourself that or anyone else that you're 100% disciplined, right? And that's not true, right? We're all gonna think the same thoughts. Like for me, for example, today, I thought that I could grab Apple at 208 at its rejection, and I almost pulled the trigger earlier when I saw that it was below 204. But then again, I have my levels to set out for. I need to wait to see how it closes at the end of the day. And obviously, I'm still looking for an official break below 200 because I know if we break below the psychological whole number level, then we'll have a massive reaction and I can still gain some sort of profit based on that move alone, okay? And I don't have to feel bad about missing out on today's rejection at 208, okay? So there it is to you, right? And who knows, we might just bounce again tomorrow. And what if I got in at these lows today, right? What's gonna happen to me tomorrow if I bought out of impulsivity, right? And out of FOMO of missing out on this big 4-point move down, right? This is a 4+ point move down now at this point. And so if it bounced tomorrow, I might say, oh my God, screw this, I need to get out, right? So, you know, there's a bunch of probabilities that could completely hinder my ability to catch myself before I start to run into a hole that I continue to dig, right? So it's just one of those things, guys, that you just get better at it with time, okay? Just give yourself some room, give yourself some patience, don't be too hard on yourself, and you'll be fine, okay? And everyone still makes mistakes. That's what makes us human, right? That's what makes us turn into successful traders, whether you're a day trader, swing trader, a long-term investor, okay? Yeah, APLD continues to have some good strength today. Wow. Still sticking to highs. Amazing. Five-minute still doing well. I think we're back to almost 10% now. Very nice bounce today. Very nice pivot. Small inside day, obviously. But I'm still just waiting on this for a nice M&A rumor. Just a rumor to just have a nice pop. Nice IV surge on my contracts. And we can have a nice exit there. But hey, if it does get bought out though, that'll be even better, right? Right? Just one random day until December, before December, right, for our contracts, because since our expiration date is on December 12th, right? Or I mean December 19th. I was thinking of the actual number for December 12th. But yeah, it'll be very nice if you have a nice pop. Just a very simple, nice pop. I gotta pray to the trading gods, or the market gods here, that 5-in will one day randomly, in between now to December, and we'll see a random pop saying that 5-in was acquired by a bigger, larger software company. And that's all you can really do on these potential M&A tickers. If you think there's some sort of strategy there isn't. I don't have a special secret sauce strategy for 5-in. I'm sure I can have a nice technical. Well, today was a good buy, anyways. All right, nice buy at the support around 25. That's great. Technically, makes sense. But again, my entire premise of owning this is that I want to see this get bought out, or at the very least, get an M&A rumor so that we see an IV surge and premium shoots up on our contracts, and we can just exit for a nice gain. And that's very. It's a simple quote unquote strategy, if you want to call it. So yeah, I'm just keeping it very simple there for 5-in. Oh, KView also has earnings, I think, soon, and very nice move up high. Look at that. Oh, I'm still holding these massive contracts that have massive OIs, and I've repeatedly gave you guys the contracts on KView, the notable options activity that I mentioned on KView on the previous report. So please take a look at that, because they're still there. And if you guys are trying to not focus on that, well, you guys should, because this one has some odd activity going on that you guys should pay attention to. Okay. Oh, Dutch Brothers is also having earnings as well. Oh, I forgot about that almost. Yeah, ticker symbol BROS. Yes. Earnings coming out on August 6th. Yeah, it's still sitting on the weekly 50 SMA as well. Massive wedge being formed now. Look at this. Huge wedge. I gotta adjust my lines here now. Yeah. If this breaks down though on earnings reaction, I'm gonna buy it. I mean, this one is not a Starbucks killer, but a potential massive, large competitor that could soak up the economic moat that Starbucks currently has. But then again, Starbucks has the longevity, right, attached to it, to its brand name. I feel like I'm just saying words at this point, but you guys understand what I'm saying, right? So Dutch Brothers has earnings this week. Okay, I think it's on Wednesday after hours. So I'm taking a look at this one. Yeah, things are looking good. They're looking spiffy. My hedges are slightly down. They're still up. I'm still up 10% on both of my hedges here on QQQ and SPY. Oh no, for QQQ I'm still up 20%. I just lost 25% return from last Friday, which is fine. It's still a hedge, and I have yet to convert those hedges to full positions. That is my entire point of what I was saying last week, right? I told you guys that if at any point the markets decide to continue to sell off, I'm going to look to turn those hedges into full positions. And how do I do that? By not being net directionally long. Alright, but I'm still net directionally long, which is why I'm still doing fine today on this bounce. Because again, my hedges were all absolutely on point, timely, okay? And also they've held their premiums quite well. And obviously last week's huge IV push and IV expansion and overall premium increases has allowed my hedges to still be very positive today on today's update, right? And they're still hedges, right? I'm still net directionally long. Okay, I will let you guys know if I decide to turn those hedges into full-on short positions, right? And my overall entire account will be short. But then again, I have yet to see that occurring, right? I'm still staying patient. It's a long-term game here for my hedges, since I have September and October expiration dates. Okay, and oh, oops, not October. I just have September, so September 19th and September 30th. So SPY, I had the September 19th, and Qs, I had the September 30th. And depending on how the markets move this month, I will be looking to roll up into October if I choose to, okay? But if this entire month of August and September turn out to be weak, I'm most definitely going to have to take out my, well, at that point, those hedges will be full-on short positions. But I will be taking those short positions out by the end of September. Or before the end of September, I should say, rather. Okay. So that is my dealio with those hedges. Toast also has earnings coming up, and it has been looking very, very strong today. Yeah, look at that. Right back to last week's highs. Very, very nice. We'll see how they're doing. And I've been seeing a lot more expansion of Toast into restaurants, so they had some very good guidance last quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but they're trying to rapidly increase their placement in stores and restaurants, particularly, right? But I think Shit 4 payments have a lot more strength in that area, and including Square as well. Obviously, Square's from Block or XYZ, which is recently included in the S&P, which is, again, I was completely out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that one, but that occurred. Okay, let's see how DDOG is doing as well. Okay, not bad. I respect this. DDOG also has earnings coming up. Potential double bottom forming here as well. Wow, Reddit retraced all the way back to its current highs. Oh wow, I forgot about this deal from last week. So Palo Alto is looking to buy the cybersecurity stock. This AI cybersecurity stock, CyberArk, CYBR. Wow. And they're down on that news, obviously, because the one that's acquiring it is going to be the one that's spending the money, the moolah, the dinero, to buy CYBR. Interesting. They're looking to buy it, okay, for $25 billion. And they're currently in talks. Wow, so in active talks, huh? In active talk mode to buy them out. Ooh, BP oil. Interesting. My contracts, I just got a notification here. My old contracts are making a move. That's interesting. Nice little IV surge, it seems like. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Okay. Okay. Huh. They have earnings tomorrow though, so I won't be touching that. Oh, lovely flag on APLD too. This earning drifts might just come into fruition here. See how some railroads are doing, since I was long CSX, and I showed you guys CSX last time too. One of my very nice swing trades, textbook swing trade. I should say position trade now, I guess. That was like a 2-month trade, over 2 months I think. UMP, okay. Not bad of a move today. Making a nice falling wedge. CSX probably still sitting at highs at 35, 36 area maybe. Yeah, look at that. Make a nice little tiny flag, Momo flag. Huh. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I bought CSX on this day. Around here. Back in May, late May. And I rode it all the way up. I think I exited right here. On this pop. Yeah, somewhere around here. DPRO? Oh. Okay. Nice retest of the daily 10. Small rejection. Around 550. This one looks very short squeezy though, so I'm expecting something to occur as we head into earnings. Or expected earnings. Seems like they don't have an official date out yet, but... And the APLD continues to look good. Pinterest also has earnings tonight. Wow. Or Thursday, actually. Okay, this one's pretty active today. 3.20% on the day. Wow. Okay, well, I think that's it for the stream today, guys. I mean, there's nothing much else to look at. I mean, APLD is looking pretty strong. I mean, I gave you guys the reasons why we could possibly be seeing $25 per share into 2027, especially if they follow through with that CoreWeave agreement.